Hey everybody, welcome to Castor'sCorner.com. I'm your host Khalil. Welcome to our live YouTube channel to check out our toy of the day. You can go to Castor'sCorner.com for a full gallery of this figure, as well as our past archive of toy of the days. You can check us out. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media, and you can also check us out in the Cornercast podcast this week with Hopkins talking the negativity that we are surrounded by in the toy world, which is very unfortunate, but a good conversation nonetheless. So last night's toy of the day took a look at the new Marvel Select Loki from Diamond Select Toys. This time we're taking a look at the Disney ToyBox Loki, which timing couldn't be better. Like I said last night, with the Loki show coming out on Disney Plus. Sorry about the crinkling. I gotta figure out to show you guys. With the Disney Plus Loki series coming out next week. I mean, it couldn't be better timing to get these out on shelf. Unfortunately, like I said last night, I don't know what to do. I call my local Disney store. I go to my local Disney store weekly because there have been weekly drops between all the new Toy Box figures and all the new Marvel Select figures. I go or call them at least once a week, and they couldn't be nicer. Like, honestly. Like, they are always helpful. They know the product. If they don't, they're like, "Oh, we didn't realize that was coming," because they don't always know when product is coming. They don't get those until like the day of. So they told me, call Friday night when we have the manifest, or Saturday morning when we put out all the new product, and if we get it. And unfortunately, since Simba, they have cleared out their toy box section. So there is like a Hall of Armor, and maybe somewhere in the store there might be a couple Toy Story figures. Sorry, Jackson's knocking at the door. But there's not a lot there. And I would love to be able to shop at our store rather than pay shipping. Because, a Disney Toy Box figure, I'm just going to hold up Thor because we're not at Loki yet, is like $12.99, which is fine. But when you have to pay $6 shipping on top of that, it turns into almost a $20 figure with tax. These are not Marvel Legends value. These are not Marvel Select value. I think they're more of a literal value line, and I'm willing to pay $12 for it. But if they continue the trend where they're closing Disney stores, and ours, as far as I know, is not marked for closure, but if they start getting rid of these retail stores, it gets harder and harder to want to support the lines. And I hope that the result isn't that the lines die, to be honest with you, because I think it gives another outlet. It gives Diamond Select 3 or 4 or 5 more slots per year to do select figures, comic and movie. And it also gives us the opportunity to get some Disney Toy Box figures. So, and I literally called Disney, spoke to their retail, talked to a bunch of different people, and they wouldn't even take my information to get more info. They were just like, "We're very sorry about that. We'll take that as a comment, as a piece of feedback." So maybe if more of us reach out to the retail side and just say, "Hey, we want to support our store. We don't want to buy this stuff online. We want to be able to buy it in store," maybe they'll listen. I can only hope that they would, but it's Disney, so God knows. Sometimes they're great with customer service. Sometimes it's like we're Disney. Either buy our stuff or just go away because we don't have to prove it. Anyway, that all being said, I did get the new Toy Box Loki. So here he is in all his glory. He comes with the staff, which has the Mind Stone in it, right? If it doesn't have the Mind Stone in the select version, but this one has the Mind Stone in it. This is definitely a movie-inspired look for him. We have seen the prototype been floating around eBay for at least a year or two now. So it's nice to finally get him in hand. He looks good next to his brother Thor. They are similar in size, I want to say. Thor might be a slight bit taller, but not much. But I think that they look pretty good together. This Loki does not look mean at all. He just looks very serious. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because he's kind of, that gold is kind of hard to kind of focus But he's got more of a much more serious tone, not the mischievous tone we saw on the select version. He comes with his staff, and that's it. It is translucent, so it's kind of bright and see-through, it's a cool little thing, and it really is mirrored after the look of the MCU version. The cape is removable. It does attach on the front, so if you do take it off, it's missing. It's got two big holes in his chest, and it's got the big peg in the back. But thankfully, that front and back connection makes it a much more stable figure. So if we take a look at Thor was wave 1 of the Disney Toy Box, and Loki now, 4 or 5 years later. So I think that they look good together. You can definitely see there's more detailing on this figure. This sculpt is a little bit softer, or the paint's a little bit softer. So you can see the difference between the two. No loose joints. Like, he doesn't rock at all when you swing him around. Pretty tight. No problems posing him. No problems. He can look up. He can look down. He's got a good range of motion on all his joints. I think he's a really good figure. Now, there are a couple spots, which you'll probably see on the close-up shots on the website, where there's some paint bleed between different parts. So there is that. Again, that's another thing that I really hate about buying stuff blind online. There's no way to check multiple ones and pick out the best. Luckily, I got good eyes, very forward-facing, prepared, looking like that. So there he is. I would be careful, though. This cape is very soft plastic. If you're gonna, stand and pose him, great. If you're gonna store him in a box, like I store mine, for photos and stuff, I would definitely bag this, because this is definitely gonna pick up scuffs and paint rubs. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that he is going to be pretty messy if you don't protect that cape. So if you can. And also, I worry about the rubberiness. It's very shiny, very glossy, very smooth. So I almost wonder, his hair is in the same kind of material. I almost wonder if long term it'd be better to store it in a separate bag or container, just so that you don't get that plastic breakdown, depending on how long you're going to keep them. So there you go. There's Loki. So we got some mischief makers this week. Green mischief makers, if you really think about it. They kind of all go together. And they all got the horns. That's unintentional. Completely unintentional. But there's our little green crew right there for this week's, in the last week's toy of the day. So there you go. These should be hitting your local Disney store, whether or not they actually make it to shelf or if they're delivered to shelf. We'll see. I don't know. I never saw Scarlet Witch. They never got, the last one our store got was Scarlet Witch. I saw it once, and one package once, not like a row of them, just one set. And they never got the Sam and Bucky, the Cap and Bucky set, or Cap and Bucky singles at all. So that tells you a little bit about what's going on here. So, so there you go. Loki. So you can check us out. We are at Kastor's Korner on all social media. We'll have a full gallery of this guy up on our website, kastorskorner.com. You can check out our podcasts, the Cornercast podcast on Apple Podcasts every Monday. This week with Hopkins talking about some of the negativity surrounding the toy community, and some of the how to stay clear of it, and how to make the community better instead of making it worse. And a little bit about the beginnings of kastorskorner.com. So you can check that out on Apple Podcasts. And remember, like I say every night, please hit the subscribe button, which I forgot to say it last night. The more of you that subscribe somewhere here, the more cool things we get to do, and then we get to share them with you. And that's the best part of this journey, is to be able to share that journey with you guys. Sorry, last night, Jackson was trying to get in the door of the office, and I completely spaced out. I got distracted for a moment. So, again, subscribe, because the more of you that subscribe, the more cool things we get to do, and then we get to share them with you. Thank you for joining us for another Toy of the Day here on CastorsCorner.com. I've been your host, Khalil, and we'll see you tomorrow with another Toy of the Day here on CastorsCorner.com live YouTube channel.